And here with reaction to my open and all the latest developments in the Dems impeachment circus, Congressman Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz join me now. Okay, I want to start with you, Matt. So here you are, sitting congressman. This week you decide that you're going to visit this impeachment hearing being conducted in Congress, where you work, where you're elected to, and they boot you out. And the irony here is they say, well, you're not on intelligence, which is a closed committee, or foreign affairs or oversight. The irony is if they did it legitimately, it would have been in your committee on judiciary. What was your reaction when they threw you out?
Well, we see this for exactly what it is, Judge, a desperate attempt by Adam Schiff and the radical left to overturn the results of the 2016 election because they know they're not going to win the 2020 election against President Trump. Now, I am a member of the Judiciary Committee. Right. The Judiciary Chairman, Jerry Nadler, announced this impeachment inquiry a month ago, and now our own committee is not able to participate. The reason is because the more eyes that get on Adam Schiff's evidence, the worse it looks. So they're conducting secret interviews with selective leaks. Then you get these theatrical performances of fake transcripts and lies about contacts with those who could potentially come before the committee. This is absolutely a kangaroo court, and the Democrats have failed the fundamental question of fairness. Okay. Why is it that they will not give Trump the same due process that Republicans gave Bill Clinton? Well,
Bill Clinton and you know, it's the precedent. This is how you do it. But Jim, I want to ask you a question. They don't let a sitting congressman in. This congressman is probably, if there is a vote, is going to vote on whether there should be articles of impeachment if they ever get that way, to that point. Will there be a transcript of any of this testimony? Will Congress people be voting based upon selective leaks?
Well, let's hope so, but Matt's right. Your opener was great. This is the most unfair partisan thing I've ever seen. In this unfair partisan process, understand what's happened. There have been 6 witnesses brought in. Not one single one of those 6 people was on the call. 2 weren't even serving in the government at the time of the call. And the individuals on the call, namely President Trump and President Zelensky, have both said there was no linkage, no pressure, no quid pro quo whatsoever. But Adam Schiff doesn't care. He is pursuing this so much so he won't let Matt Gaetz in the room. He won't let people see the transcript. This is all based, again, Judge, on an anonymous whistleblower with no firsthand knowledge, bias against the president, worked with Vice President Biden, wrote a memo the day after the call, said all kinds of things in this memo, crazy, frightening stuff on this call, but waited 18 days to file the complaint. And guess what happened in that 18-day time frame? This whistleblower, so-called whistleblower, ran off to see Adam Schiff and his staff and didn't tell us when he filed the form, didn't check the box that said, did you talk with anyone on Capitol Hill? That's the kind of crazy process that's going on.
And it's not just Capitol Hill, it's also the Inspector General. But the amazing part of this thing is that, you know, not only does the president, the prime minister of Ukraine say there's no pressure whatsoever, they didn't even know that there was money that hadn't been released. So how could there be a quid pro quo if they don't know that there's that money that hasn't been released? And, you know, Schiff in the beginning, remember, guys, wants to protect the whistleblower, and, you know, we got to protect them, as if he's saying something we don't already know that the president has already released openly in the transcript. But now he's like, no, we don't need to hear the whistleblower. The transcript is the best evidence, which is what I said from the get-go, but that's got nothing to do with it. You know why? So they don't get to cross-examine the whistleblower as to the fact that he's an intelligence agent who was involved in the overthrow of a president. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And the people with the best firsthand knowledge were the individuals on the call, and we know what they've said. But anyone else who's listened to the call, anyone else with any kind of firsthand knowledge, Adam Schiff doesn't want us to talk to them either. We don't have any idea who they might be because only Adam Schiff knows who the whistleblower is. And now Adam Schiff's argument for this closed process, his argument he's now making is, oh, in other impeachment inquiries, there was an independent and special prosecutor. So Adam Schiff has now set himself up as an independent special prosecutor. Try taking that argument to the American people. They will see right through that, again, underscoring just how bad a process, unfair process this is. And Matt's right. The reason it's so unfair is because they know they can't beat President Trump in 2020.
Well, they've admitted it. Who was it? Al Green, the congressman, says, yeah, we got to impeach him because we can't beat him. But, Matt, I want to go back to you on this issue. if, you know, an impeachment is a political move, essentially, and if they do impeach this president with this corrupt, unaccountable claim by a liar, Adam Schiff, I call him a lying sack of Schiff, okay, does that mean the next time around, if a Democrat is president, that the Republicans can get together and say, that's it, we got a precedent here, let's just vote to get him out? Is that where we're headed?
Well, unfortunately, what you see from House Democrats is impeachment by reflex. And you're right, this does lasting damage to the House of Representatives, because there may be a day when we have to engage in a legitimate impeachment against a president that has violated their constitutional duty. President Trump hasn't done that, but now Nancy Pelosi has made the impeachment process a total joke, a clown show. And I am sick and tired of the Democrats' alligator tears about this military aid to the Ukraine. Barack Obama put a permanent stop on this aid. He never allowed it to go. So you're telling me that we're going to impeach President Trump for delivering aid that Barack Obama didn't deliver? That is absolutely ludicrous, and it shows that if there was anything, if President Trump had the wrong color tie on at this point, Democrats would lurch to impeachment because they're unable to win a fair debate or a fair election. That is what this is really about. And you know what? It's a political process, and they are going to pay a political price in the 2020 election when the forgotten men and women of this country come out and vote to send this president back.
Okay. All right, Jim, let me ask you this. Let's assume that the articles of impeachment, if there were to be articles, they have to come out of judiciary, don't they?
Right. I assume what they will do is once they go through this charade and this unfair process, I assume Adam Schiff will put together some type of report, send that to the Judiciary Committee, recommending certain articles of impeachment, and then I assume there'll be some here. But again, when you make the rules up as you go along, who knows how this plays out? But I assume that's what they're going to do. What we're going to do is make sure we present the facts as best we can and get the information to the American people. But Matt is right. You're right. Instinctively, the American people get fairness, and they instinctively see that this is an unfair process that they don't get to participate in. Think about this fact. Only a handful of people in the whole country, 300-some million people in this country, only a handful of people know who this whistleblower is, Adam Schiff and his staff. And this individual is the one responsible for this entire thing starting. Removing a president from office is their focus.
Hold on, I'm the one who said Jim Comey is the reason, one man, that this nation was fractured for 2 years with this Russia collusion, delusion nonsense. That we can thank one man for that. We were at each other's throats for 2.5 years and $30 million later. But I want to ask one more thing. What about Mick Mulvaney? I mean, what's going to come of all that, Jim?
Well, I mean, Mick cleared up his statement. He had another statement that he made later in the day. I think, look, everything we have heard through the testimony we've heard, there has never been anyone who said that there's always never been a linkage between any military assistance and any type of activity on investigation. That has been clear throughout. That's what the president said. That's what President Zelensky said. And that's what the special envoy, Ambassador Volker, told us as well. So that's the one transcript we can talk about, but it's been consistent throughout on that fundamental fact of military assistance aid and linkage to any type of election, none whatsoever.
All right, and Matt, finally, the best evidence is the transcript. Listen to the transcript. All the rest is just noise.
Of course, Judge, and you know from your time in the courtroom, I know from my time in the courtroom, if you've got good facts, you're not afraid to put them on. You know, the Democrats saw that when they put Robert Mueller before the Judiciary Committee, when they put Corey Lewandowski before the American people, they failed to be persuasive in any way. Now they're operating in secret because their facts are terrible and they have to rely on deception. This is a country that's better than that, and this is a president that's going to survive it and thrive.
All right, Congressman Jim Jordan, Matt Gaetz, thanks so much.